Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Ross Alastair Wilson, and this is a genuine opinion about Jurassic World 2: The Fallen Kingdom. I've already done one video about this, which was obviously a silly review, where I was just playing around with a dinosaur, and you know me, and yeah, so basically, it's taken me. This is something that's happening with films at the moment. It's taking me ages and ages and ages to really work out what I even think. I don't know what I think about films. It takes me ages to come to a sort of understanding of, did I even enjoy this or not? So what I tend to do is I tend to watch other people's reviews loads, and then I kind of compare and contrast in my head. It just happens naturally. When I watch other people's reviews, it's like they're forming my opinion, because I'm like hearing what they're saying, and then it's weighing up against how did I think about it in the cinema, and taking different angles, and then I'm coming to my own conclusion based upon what they've said, what I've experienced, and they kind of just helping me to like, well, what's my feeling? Because quite often I don't know. I'm usually just bamboozled by the cinema experience, and I don't care on one level as well. I don't really care that much. It's a cinema experience, and there's loads of them, and you've seen loads of films, and then you're going to see loads more. So it's like, okay, it's not a massive deal for me overall, but I really enjoyed Avengers Infinity War. And I went back to see that 5 times in the cinema in total. I'm going to buy the fucking DVD, and I'm going to watch it over and over again. I don't know why. I'm like addicted to that film. So Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom. The only intelligent piece of insight that I've had, and I doubt it's original, is that we are suckers, basically. We're just suckers for remakes, reboots, sequels. We are total and utter suckers. And the film studios, the film industry knows that. And we are eating these films like they are apples to our vegetarian dinosaurs. They chuck up a new thing and we go, I know of that from the past. It's like the whole problem that I've experienced in the music industry. I say music industry, I mean the music scene, the local music scene to me, is that people just want to hear cover songs. This is now a movie version of the cover song, which is where every movie that comes out is a cover of an original movie that is clothed as being a sequel. Like this Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is just a clone, and there's a clone aspect in here as well in that film, but this is just a clone of various different parts of all the ones that have come before it. So it's not original in any sense at all. It's just a rearranging of different aspects of all the films that have come before it. There's hardly anything new, so what's the point of it? And yet my opinion here, or my insight, is we are just suckers. We are suckers for this thing. It's got a brand name on it that we know and recognize and we liked in the past, and we go, yes, 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 let's have some of that. It's like the Star Wars thing, okay? When that came out with The Force Awakens, everyone was like, wee, it's a Star Wars thing. And then The Last Jedi came out, and everyone to begin with was like, wee. And then there was a load of backlash about The Last Jedi. And then Solo came out, and it's not doing very well. It hasn't done very well. My point is that we as audiences are unwise. It's like we're being tricked by our own nostalgia or something, because we're invariably being disappointed by these sequels. We are, on the whole, I mean, like Ghostbusters, and then the RoboCop, and what other new ones were there? There's loads of them. Everything's a fucking reboot or a sequel or a remake of an old good film. Why don't they just remake Pulp Fiction with like an all-female cast? I mean, what the hell? Ocean's 8. What the hell? Where's the original film ideas? And the original film ideas are not being they're not turning into the blockbusters blockbusters or the big film status because all the blockbusters are the remakes and the reboots, apart from the Marvel ones, which is a separate category to itself. But yeah, so I think that I don't know why he's obviously had his hands broken off in some kind of remake. Yeah, I just think that we're obviously suckers. We get excited about something and realize that it's just a remash, a remolding of what we've already seen and loved in the past. But obviously, because it dilutes every time, doesn't it? It's like being eroded. So every time you get a new sequel or a new remake, there is a dilution of the original substance of the first film, and so it just kind of gets more and more weak. It just weakens as it goes along, and yet we still go out in the hundreds of thousands and millions of people and billions of people, and we go, yeah, I'll have some of that, and again we will go, oh, it just wasn't the same as the original. It just wasn't the same. It wasn't as good as the one before it. So we're gradually just going, becoming zombified and numbed by these new films that we didn't really want. We just have a predisposition for them, if that makes sense. I think overall, yeah. I mean, I was excited about Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom coming out. It was one of my looking forward to, like the Predator, like the Avengers, Infinity War, because it's all brand identity, isn't it? That we know what they are, we loved what they were, we like what they were about, and then as they're moving forwards, because it's as they're moving forwards, they're getting weaker, and it's because it's the whole point of art, good art anyway, or strong art. I don't know if you could say good. I really don't know about objectifying subjective experience. Yeah, I'd say strong, powerful art that does something that matters in some way. It has to come from an original, authentic, genuine place. It has to be an original idea that comes from some insight, or it comes from some understanding. It comes from some lesson that the writer has tapped into, or it comes from some experience that is meaningful from the writer's life, or it speaks to a certain issue, or it does something relevant, really, really relevant to what's going on at the time, or it comes from a place of art, not from a place of money grabbing and from capitalizing on the past. It comes from a new place. It comes from good art. Good strong art comes from a place of freshness. And that's why we don't get the feeling of freshness with all these remakes, reboots, remoot. We're not getting that freshness because it's not coming from a fresh place. The whole premise of a sequel and a remake and a reboot is not a fresh premise. It doesn't make any sense from an artistic perspective. It's like the commercial artist who's realized that doing a big picture of an apple in a certain style really worked well, so that's all they do now forever. And you're like, well, the first one was great. But the rest of them, it's just the same thing. You're just doing the same thing. There's no inventiveness here. There's no originality to it. There's no spark. There's no joy. There's no freshness. There's no power, And we, as audience members, are suckers for this because it's obvious that these studios are just capitalizing on our nostalgia and capitalizing on their brand identity and trying to just rape these franchises of the original idea and suck out as much nutrients from our original kind of enthusiasm for them as possible so that they can continue to make a hell of a load of money. And we as audiences are so stupid that we go, yeah, Jurassic World, cool. It's got the word Jurassic in it. It's got dinosaurs in it. The other ones were cool, or at least the first one was great. And then we go in, excited, and then we come out disappointed because we've been sold the idea that this is going to be awesome by a trailer, and then we come out going, because it was never going to be good in the first place, because it's not come from an original place. It's come from a remashable place. I think there is a way to do sequels, and it's to treat a sequel as an independent, fresh, new story that happens to exist within this world that the previous one took place in. It's not like, we've got, because obviously the way the studios work is, well, we've done this now, we can really capitalize on this, make more money from it moving forward, just using everything that's been set up in the past. Well, no, that's not how it's going to really long-term work for you. I mean, long term, because, this Jurassic Park franchise will die out at some point, you would hope. I don't know. I think there's a clash, basically. There's a clash between financial interest and artistic satisfaction, as in audience satisfaction. So financial interest on the studios and artistic satisfaction, the meaningful satisfaction for an audience member. So you go in and you have a meaningful experience, you have a satisfying experience. And that's at odds with a film industry that wants to stay alive and wants to keep itself going and wants to live and support its families and, make profits and have bigger houses and bigger cars and swimming pools. And that's at odds with an audience experience where they just want to be entertained, they want to have a great time, they want to come away with something, they want to feel like they can go back to this film and it's going to mean something to them. They maybe want to be inspired, they want to be moved, they want to be excited, and all these feeling type things, which don't really correspond very well to the motivation of making money, because this feeling type stuff it comes from a feeling type place, which this whole money generation industrial aspect of it really isn't a good match for making authentic feelings, so that this is why we're having a difficulty, I believe, but this could just be my problem, which it is my problem. I own my issues. So I just think we're stupid. We knew that all these sequels and reboots, how can we be sucked into it? It's obvious that these studios are cashing in on what's been done before, and yet we continue to eat it up like an apple to a vegetarian dinosaur. So I don't know, it's just my opinion. It's just one way of looking at it. Where's the original movies that we can be excited about, that we look back on 10 years from now and go, boom, yeah, this is the one that they can make a sequel, reboot, remake to now? I mean, we're not going to get those in this era, are we? This is the era of the remakes and reboots. So what we're going to do in 20 years' time, they're going to be remaking like Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World, they're going to reboot that one, and it's just like the law of diminishing returns, isn't it? As I was saying earlier, it's being eroded. So somewhere, somehow, you're going to have some fresh, new, large-scale stuff happening. Otherwise, this whole industry is just on a dying route. So, I don't know. But I believe in the humanity, I believe in humankind, I believe in the arts. Arts are continuously renewing, the human spirit is continuously renewing. So it's like, I think personally we're in a very mixed territory with regards to films at the moment, because you've got big blockbusters that are dominating the cinema. I don't go to see anything other than blockbusters because I don't really trust the minor films. I don't trust them to be any good because they don't have this backlog of credibility, if you like, from the past, and yet I'm being sucked into these big blockbuster ones and being disappointed. Does that make sense? I go with the blockbuster because they're a safe option. As a viewer, I go with the blockbuster as a safe option. And I'm sure the studios are going with these sequels and remakes because they're a safe option. That makes sense. But yet, with the safety of it, we don't get anything that's new, fresh, inspiring, creative, ingenious, like really wow. We get, yeah. And that's the best we can hope to get from it. Is like, ooh, I prefer the first one. Or like, yay, first one. They can never match the first one. So I thought I was finished, but I think maybe I am finished. So what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Nothing. There's nothing. We just have to wait. And if we're in the industry ourselves, we have to push to change culture somehow. I don't know. Because you can't just push. You can't be making awesome new original films when there's no demand for awesome new original films. So I think we have to be sick and tired of reboots and remakes and sequels as an audience to start demanding this fresh new cinema. And I was going to say Marvel is still kind of doing something fresh and new in a sense, even though it's all part of one big universe and they're all pretty much the same. I think Avengers Infinity War was a good, it broke the mold slightly in having a villain win, which was nice. And Black Panther also broke the mold to some degree with a very, very different scenario, a very different setting, and a very different set of characters as compared with previous Marvel hero's journey type films. So even though I didn't like Black Panther, I like it for what it did, and for what it is, and what it means as a creative expression. I didn't hate it, but I just didn't enjoy it. It's too brutal, man. All those tribe things with the brutal fighting, I don't like it. It's just too brutal. Okay, so that's my opinion. So I don't really have much of an opinion on the actual film itself because it's just like, I just felt like I'd seen most of it before in various ways. Okay, bye.